Hey, what is up, nerds, geeks, and collectors alike? Today we're taking a look at the Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Deluxe Class Wave 3 Bumblebee. And undoubtedly, Bumblebee is one of the most iconic Transformers out there due to his lovable personality.
I'm tired of people messing with me.
He is an absolute fan favorite and a mainstay character in recent Transformers media. This lovable Autobot even got his own spin-off movie. Bumblebee was one of my personal favorites, but enough about that, let's take a look at the packaging first before we dive deeper into the figure. Moving Bumblebee aside for a moment, let's take a look at the Transformers Last Night packaging. Here we have a window where the figure is supposed to be, and a beautiful artwork of Bumblebee as well as his name and a Autobot symbol at the lower left. Here we have the logo of the Premium Edition, though I do not know what Premium Edition means. I guess it's just something to call the toy line. Here we have at the side an image of Bumblebee, and it states here at the top he is let me adjust the camera. He is a courageous scout. And at the back we have our obligatory product shots, or if you excuse me, the CGI obligatory product shots alongside with Bumblebee. In this wave, he comes with strafe and crosshairs. This is the third wave of the Premium Edition Transformers toy line, and at the side we only have the logo of the Transformers Last Night as well as a continuation of the art of Bumblebee. At the top we have an image of Optimus, Bumblebee, and Drift, and at the bottom we have the legal mumbo jumbo as well as the UPC of the figure. And that's about it for the packaging. Now let's take a look at the courageous scout himself.
What now?
You're the Last Night. You're the Earl's special guy. You figure it out. I'm not going in that water. My gears would be sucked into my main shaft.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable.
What does the old man want us to do?
B, go around, find another way, come on!
What? Are you serious? Think I like winding up in a place like this?
And here we have Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Deluxe Class Bumblebee, and I really like what Hasbro did with this figure. They went back to their Revenge of the Fallen roots, where the figures are sculpted and painted as accurate as they can be, considering that they are just a deluxe class figure, along with the ever slightly increasing price point of the Transformers figure.
This is so exciting. Oh no, this isn't my damn voice.
I'm gonna kill him, B.
This is such bullshit.
You know what? I'm not giving up. All right, you're gonna speak with your own voice one day.
Day Trader is a punk-ass bitch.
And speaking of the Revenge of the Fallen toy line, I like the fact that with the Transformers The Last Night Premium Edition line, they return to those more complex transformations, those additional steps in order to make the robot mode and the vehicle mode as accurate as it can be. On the contrary, in terms of some kibble here, some missing details here, and some paint, it's overall a good figure.
Oh, that's where that's been. Come on!
Now let's take an in-depth look at the painting and sculpting of the figure. Let's take a look at that head first and then the overall body. Bumblebee is comprised of yellow and gray plastic with painted black, silver, and some blue for the headlights. And looking at the head, it is extremely beautifully painted and sculpted with the mechanical details as well as the application of the silver paint, and not to mention that very tiny Autobot symbol. Moving on to the chest, here we have a Chevy logo, which you can barely see due to the fact that it is all black. And as you notice, he is missing some additional details on the chest, because his chest in The Last Night was very similar to his Dark of the Moon chest piece. But what I can say here is that Every detail here is beautifully and uniquely sculpted and painted. No reused parts. Even though the figure transforms almost the same way, I can safely say that the figure itself is an entirely new mold from head to toe. Judging by the sculpt of the entire figure, that's how I can say that this is an entirely new mold. And without a doubt, one of my favorite Bumblebee figures in my collection.
In charge now. Just don't expect any bedtime stories.
And Bumblebee only comes with one accessory. He comes with this iconic stinger. Here we have an entirely gray plastic with some added yellow. Oops, there it goes. And here we have a neatly applied yellow paint on top of the gray plastic. And the overall sculpt is beautiful. My only problem with the accessory is that it tabs on his left hand instead of tabbing into his right hand. Or excuse me, the arm. And in order to remove the arm, what you have to do is position the figure in a way that the mushroom peg has clearance when you remove it, that it doesn't hit other parts of the figure. And as you can see, there's the mushroom peg. And what I like to put my thumb here on top of the mushroom peg, so when I apply pressure to the figure, it doesn't stress the joint, the mushroom peg itself, and then just gently push it down. And in terms of applying or installing the accessory, just gently push this while swiveling it in order not to stress the mushroom peg. And his legs tend to come undone if you play with the figure a little roughly. Here we have Bumblebee with his stinger installed into his left hand. And let's just position him, and let's bring up that shoulder the way it should be, as well as the other one. And there you have it. There's Bumblebee with his iconic stinger. But what I tend to do is, let's remove this and a little, there we go, and put the original arm back. What I do with this accessory, so I don't stress the mushroom pegs, I just bend this joint so the mushroom peg is now at a 90-degree angle, and just let Bumblebee hold it as a gun. And with this, I actually prefer it this way. At least now it's on the right side, as well as I no longer had to remove the arm in order to have him hold it. And for posability, Bumblebee's head is on a ball joint, but unfortunately the cable is restricting him to do an entire 360, but he can look to the right and look to the left that far. He can look up that far and look down that far. His arm can extend, and it can also do an entire 360, but again, some cable is restricting him, so let's just bend the elbow. He has that bicep swivel from the mushroom peg that you remove for the gun, and a 90-degree bend on the elbow, and as well as some wrist articulation, but that's more for the transformation. Moving on to the torso, unfortunately Bumblebee does not come with any upper body articulation, not even a waist swivel, but he can kick, and again his feet are undone. Just peg this back in. His feet can go back that far, as well as do the splits fairly well. And here we have the splits and some side swivel, as well as a 90, and then here we go again with the legs, with the feet I mean, and a 90-degree bend. And since I pegged that, some back and forth movement on the feet, So that is the articulation of the Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Deluxe Class Bumblebee. And moving on to the size comparison, whipping out the trusted ruler, Bumblebee stands about 5 inches high. And let's bring out his rival, the Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Deluxe Class Barricade, and as well his World War II buddy, Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Walmart exclusive Deluxe Class Hot Rod, or should I say Utwoot.
I hate the accent, but I can get rid of it.
And of course, we have to include the head honcho himself, the Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Voyager Class Optimus Prime. And personally, the best figure form representation of the Night Optimus Prime design. And Hot Rod stands about 5.5 inches, and Barricade stands the same with Bumblebee 5 inches, and Optimus Prime stands roughly a little above 7 inches.
Who dares to challenge me?
It's all wrong, B. You gotta find him, B. Remember ZB7? You gotta be that Autobot again.
And that's it. Moving on to the transformation.
Decepticons are coming.
All right, we all know our hiding places. What's this? The tracker brought them right to us. When are you gonna grow up?
And here we have Bumblebee in his 2016 custom Chevrolet Camaro, looking like an absolute beast in this muscle car mode of his, which Bumblebee is often associated in the Bayformers as well as every iteration of the character in recent years in any form of media, either if it's movies, games, TV shows, or comics. This is the modern representation of Bumblebee. The figure itself captures the 2016 custom Chevrolet Camaro perfectly. With some added paint, it could be more accurate, but as it is already a pretty good figure. This figure rolls with no problem. All four tires of the figure rolls at the same time, indicating that you have transformed this figure perfectly, and as well as it has no problems. And the gun, you can tab it in either side right here. Here we have a tab. Let me show you the tab. There you go. And as well as the holes where they go in. And it's not the best weapon storage, but it's not the worst.
Head right, whole ass! Whoa!
Now that's how you get to the big leagues.
Somewhat, it kind of looks like that scene from the movie, but not entirely screen accurate, which is no problem. But moving on to the size comparisons, Bumblebee is now 1.5 inches high, and then he is 5 inches long, and he is, I think, 3 inches wide, 2 inches wide. And let's put Bumblebee back here, and let's bring out his rival from earlier, the Transformers The Last Night Premier Edition Deluxe Glass Barricade, and as well as the Transformers The Last Night Premier Edition Walmart exclusive Deluxe Class Hot Rod. And here we have the three alt modes of the characters, and as you can see, Hot Rod is a little longer, but Barricade is a little shorter than Bumblebee, but Barricade is higher while Hot Rod is the lowest figure among the three due to the fact that he is a Lamborghini, which is a slick vehicle. And here we have the Transformers The Last Night Premier Edition Voyager class Optimus Prime. And these guys, these two really look cool side by side. I really like the scale here. I think this is a perfect scale of Optimus and Bumblebee. So personally, I think this is the figure that you should get from the Premier Edition, considering that in the Premier Edition, in the first wave, they released a Age of Extinction repaint of the Bumblebee figure, which I passed out on since I thought it wasn't screen accurate, and I hoped for the best that they would release another Bumblebee, and this was it. I immediately picked this up from my local toy store. He was about $18 retail, which was previously about $14. That was the price for deluxe class figures from the first movie up until Age of Extinction, correct me if I'm wrong. Coming back to the figure itself, it is a good figure. The painting and sculpting is at its roots. It is the way I like them to be, and the transformation is almost the same. It made me feel like a kid transforming a Revenge of the Fallen or the Hunt for the Decepticons Transformers figures back in the day, which I grew up with in terms of the complexity of transforming a figure. Overall, this is a must-get figure if you are a fan of the Transformers The Last Night or a fan of the design alone, as well as a general fan of the courageous scout Bumblebee. So if you like this video, drop a like and subscribe for more content. Till next time, see ya.